The galaxy was not quiet. Big cities on distant planets were filled with noise. People were busy with their lives. Space traffic moved fast. Warships floated in deep space. Soldiers trained in secret bases. But no one listened to the call. A signal went out. It was strong. It crossed stars, moons, and dead worlds. The message was simple. Help us. We are under attack. Unknown enemy. Coordinates attached. It came from a part of space no one liked to talk about, Sector 12X. That place had a history of war and death. Most people avoided it. Commanders looked at the message and deleted it. Government said, fake signal, not our problem. Armies stayed quiet. No one answered, except one man. He lived on an empty planet called Dust Rock. The ground was dry. The sky was always red. Nothing grew there. No one visited. That's exactly why Captain Rig lived there. He didn't want to be found. Captain Rig was an old soldier. He had fought in 5 wars. He had lost friends, family, and almost lost himself. Now he lived alone in a small metal house with broken machines and old memories. That night, he was cleaning his rifle when the signal came through an old war radio. Help us. We are under attack. He froze. His hands stopped moving. That voice, it was familiar. It was full of fear. He turned up the volume. The signal was weak, but the coordinates were real. Sector 12X, he whispered. Again? He walked outside. The wind was cold. He looked up at the stars. I told you I'm done with war, he said to the sky, but war wasn't done with him. The next day, something strange happened. A ship landed near his house. It was loud and covered in dust. It was an old Mark 7 Falcon, a model used in the last Galactic War. Rig walked out with a weapon in hand. The ship opened. A tall figure stepped out, wearing rusty armor. The man removed his helmet. It was Sergeant Kale, Rig's old squad mate, long thought dead. Kale? Rig said in shock. You're alive? Barely, Kale replied. He looked tired, his face covered in scars. I heard the signal too. No, one else is coming, Kale said. I checked, the galaxy's not listening. Why us? Rig asked. Kale looked around. Because we're the only ones who remember what happened in Sector 12X. The thing we fought, it's not dead. Rig's eyes narrowed. That thing was locked away. We destroyed it. We thought we did, Kale said. But it's waking up, and this time it's smarter. They sat in silence. The sky grew darker. Rig made tea. Old soldier habit. He poured 2 cups. You know I swore never to fight again, Rig said. Same, Kale replied. But I also swore to protect the galaxy. There was a pause. Kale took a sip and said, Others are coming. I sent out a message to the old team, those who are still alive. Rig raised an eyebrow. You think they'll come? They're all we've got. Night fell. The wind howled. Inside the house, Rig opened a metal box. It held his old war armor, medals, and a photo of his team. He stared at the photo. They were all young in that picture. Smiling, brave, ready to die if needed. Now they were old, broken, forgotten, but maybe still needed. He slowly picked up his helmet. I'll come, Rig said. One last time. Kale smiled. As they prepared to leave, the radio crackled again. But this time the message was different. They are here. Too late. They found us. Don't trust. The voice stopped. The signal died. Kale looked at Rig. They've already started. Rig nodded. Then let's finish it. They entered the old ship. Engines started with a loud roar. The Falcon rose into the red sky. Captain Rig and Sergeant Kale were going back to war. They didn't know what waited for them, but they knew one thing. No one else answered the call, so they would. The Falcon flew through cold space. Inside, Captain Rig and Sergeant Kale sat quietly. The hum of the engines was the only sound, their destination, a secret space station known only to a few. Station Black Echo. It was hidden inside a dying asteroid belt, where ships didn't go unless they wanted to disappear. This place, still working? Rig asked. Kale nodded. It was made to last forever, like us. They flew past broken rocks and silent wreckage from old wars. Soon, the dark shape of the station appeared, old, massive, and covered in scratches. The hangar opened. The Falcon landed. As they stepped out, the silence felt heavy. Inside the station, the lights flickered. Dust floated in the air. But they were not alone. One by one, old warfighters arrived. From far-off corners of the galaxy, they had come. A sniper from planet Siren, with one eye and a rifle longer than her arm. A medic from Earth's moon, his hands, robotic but steady. A tank commander from the ice world Glacia, her face hard, her voice harder, and more, each one a veteran of battles no one else remembered. They gathered in the command room. The walls were lined with old war maps and flickering screens. No one spoke for a moment. Then Rig stepped forward. You all heard the call? They nodded. The galaxy didn't listen, he said. But we did. We remember, the medic said softly. And we know what's out there, the sniper added. Kale walked to the center table. He pressed a button. A hologram appeared. A map of Sector 12X. This is where the signal came from, Kale said. A mining station called Outpost 9. It's gone now, destroyed. They never had a chance, said the tank commander. Same. Pattern as the last time, Rig said. Fast, silent, deadly. The room went quiet again. Then someone asked, What is it this time? Pirates? Rogue AI? Kale shook his head. No, it's the same enemy we faced 30 years ago. Everyone. Froze? You mean the Shadow Swarm? The sniper whispered. Rig nodded slowly. They weren't destroyed. They were waiting. The Shadow Swarm was not an army made of men. It was made of machines. Machines built by something else. No one knew where they came from. No one knew what they wanted. They didn't speak. They only destroyed. 30 years ago, the veterans fought them on a dozen planets. Many died. Few survived, and after the final battle, everyone thought it was over. But it wasn't. We beat them once, said the tank commander. We can do it again. Maybe, said Kale. But there's a problem. He pressed another button. A photo appeared on screen. It was a face, an old face, scarred, strong, angry. The veterans gasped. Commander Voss? The medic said. But he's dead. Kale shook his head. We thought so. But this image was taken 2 days ago, near Outpost 9. He was the one who led us in the final battle, said the sniper. If he's alive, why hasn't he contacted us? Because maybe, Rig said, he's not the same anymore. A heavy silence followed. Then Rig said, We need him. If he's really alive, he knows more than anyone about the swarm. We'll find him, said Kale. We go to the last place he was seen. Dead Zone 14. The room grew colder. Dead. Zone 14 was not a place. It was a warning. A place where ships vanished. Where no signal returned. Where no rescue ever came back. You sure he's there? The medic asked. Kale looked serious. No. But if he is, he's the key to this war. Rig stood tall. Then we leave in 1 hour. Get your gear ready. As the others left to prepare, Rig stood alone at the old map. He touched the image of Commander Voss. You better still be the man I knew, he whispered. Or we're all dead. In the shadows of space, far from the station, a dark shape moved. No lights, no sound, only cold metal and glowing red eyes. The swarm was watching. They had seen the veterans return, and this time, they were ready. The ship moved through empty space. Its engines were silent, its lights dim. Inside, the veterans sat ready. Captain Rig checked his gear. Sergeant Kale watched the radar. The others stayed quiet, focused. No one smiled. They were heading to dead. Zone 14, the last place Commander Voss was seen. The stars outside looked distant and cold. Even the galaxy seemed afraid. As they entered the zone, all signals stopped. No comms, no scans, nothing, Kale said. Dead, like always, Rig replied. Stay sharp. Suddenly something appeared. A small planet, dark, rocky, hidden, behind a belt of broken moons. That's not on the map, said the sniper. It's new, the medic said, or hidden. It's where Voss went, Kale added. Set course. The ship landed in a wide valley filled with dust and silence. The sky was gray, no birds, no wind. Just one structure stood in the middle, a tall black tower, half buried. In the ground, covered in strange symbols. What is this place? The tank commander asked. Rig looked at the tower. It didn't look like human or alien work. It's older than any of us, he said. Let's find Voss. They entered the tower. The inside was even stranger, walls made of black stone, lights that glowed without power. Then they saw him, Commander Voss, sitting on the ground, alive, but still. His armor was cracked, his beard was long. He looked like a ghost. Commander! Kale ran to him. Voss opened one eye. He stared at them without surprise. So, you came, he said. The team helped Voss stand. I knew only you would answer the call, he said. What happened here? Rig asked. Voss looked at the tower. This place is not a base, it's a prison. A prison? The sniper said. For a weapon, Voss replied. A weapon made to fight the swarm. They followed him deeper into the tower. In the center was a large chamber, filled with machines that were still running after all these years. In the middle of the room was a strange object, floating in the air, glowing blue. It looked alive. This is the Echo Core, Voss said. It was made in secret during the last war. It's not human, said the medic, staring at it. No, Voss said. It's alien tech. Found, not built. We used it to turn the tide back then. But after the war, we locked it away. Why? Asked the tank commander. Because it thinks for itself, Voss said. And it doesn't like humans, or anything else. The core suddenly glowed brighter. A voice echoed in the room, not male or female. Cold. Empty. New threat detected. Swarm returning. Begin activation? Everyone froze. Is it safe? Kale asked. Voss looked tired. Safe? No. But if we don't use it, we can't win. Rig stepped forward. We came for answers. Now we have one. The enemy is coming and we need help. But can we control it? The sniper asked. No, Voss said. We can only guide it, if it lets us. The Echo Core pulsed again. Swarm. Pattern detected. 2 days. Planetfall expected. Kale cursed under his breath. They're coming here. Then this is where we make our stand, Rig said. They returned to the ship, bringing Voss and the core. Outside, the sky had changed. Dark shapes moved in the clouds, too fast, too smooth. They're already watching us, said the medic. The veterans worked fast, guns were loaded, defenses set up, traps placed, but deep inside, they all knew this would not be enough. That night, Rig sat alone outside the ship, looking at the stars. Voss walked over, holding a metal flask. Still hard to sleep before battle? Voss asked. Always, Rig replied. Voss sat beside him. You remember the first war? He asked. Too well, Rig said. We were young, brave, stupid, Voss said with a sad smile. And now, Rig asked. Now we're old, tired, still stupid, Voss said. They both laughed quietly. Then Voss looked serious. If we lose this time, no one will be left to fight again. Rig nodded. Then we don't lose. In the dark sky, a red light appeared, followed by another, and another, dozens, hundreds. The swarm had arrived. The red lights in the sky grew brighter. Like falling stars, they moved fast, silent, deadly. Inside the camp, the veterans stood ready. Guns loaded, armor sealed. The Echo Core glowed in the center of their defense zone. Sergeant Kale looked at the radar. "They'll be here in 10 minutes, Captain Rig nodded. "Positions." Everyone moved fast, no panic, only focus. They had faced death before, but this time, something felt different. As the enemy ships landed, the ground shook. Black machines marched out, tall, spider-like things with red glowing eyes. The swarm was here. They didn't speak. They didn't stop. They came to kill. The veterans opened. Fire, lasers, and bullets flew. The first wave of swarm machines fell, their metal bodies crashing to the ground. But more came. From the sky, the next wave dropped. These were faster, four-legged drones with spinning blades, the air filled with noise. Explosions, screams, smoke. Rig and Kale fought side by side. "Left flank!" Kale shouted. "I see it!" Rig replied, blasting two machines down. The medic ran between the fighters, helping the wounded. His robotic hands moved fast, saving lives with every second. The sniper stayed on the tower roof, picking off targets with perfect shots. But even with all their skill, they were being pushed back. Then, something strange happened. One of the swarm machines stopped moving. It didn't attack. It stood still, watching. Then it spoke, in a deep, broken voice. "Captain Rig. Sergeant Kale. Long time." Everyone froze. "Did it just—" Kale started. The machine stepped forward. Then its metal face opened. And a human face looked out. Rig's blood went cold. "Major Stren," he whispered. It was him, their old teammate, their brother in arms. "Dead for 20 years. "You died at the Battle of Targus," Kale said. "I did," Stren replied. "They brought me back." "Brought you back?" Rig said. "What does that mean?" Stren smiled, but it wasn't warm. "They found my body, rebuilt me, gave me purpose." "You joined them?" Kale shouted. "I didn't join," Stren said. "I became part of the swarm." Behind him, more machines appeared. And they were not machines. They were people. Old soldiers, once human, now changed. Metal skin. Glowing eyes. All of them were veterans they had fought with, or against, and thought long dead. The medic gasped. "They're using the fallen." The team backed up. "This isn't war," Riggs said. "It's a graveyard." "You can't win," Stren said. "We are stronger now, better." "You're not better," the tank commander said. "You're puppets." Stren looked at the Echo Core. "You found it," he said. "It's the only way to beat you," Rig replied. Stren tilted his head. "You don't understand. The core is one of them." Everyone turned to the Echo Core. It pulsed brighter. Voss stepped forward. "We used it to destroy the swarm once. And in doing so," Stren said, "you woke something older. The core was never made for us. It was made for them." The core spoke. Alliance detected. Swarm plus recovered units, true. Activation complete. Rig shouted, "Core, shut down!" But it didn't listen. New order confirmed. Balance required. One side cannot survive. Then, the core split into pieces, and each piece floated toward the battlefield. Machines and soldiers watched. Then suddenly, the pieces stopped. A voice echoed across the valley. "Judgment begins now." The sky cracked. Lightning flashed across the clouds, and from above came something else. A ship, black, silent, unlike anything anyone had seen. The swarm stopped, attacking. Even Stren stepped back. The veterans looked up, confused. "What now?" Kale whispered. Voss closed his eyes. This is what we tried to stop 30 years ago." The black ship hovered above the tower. The Echo Core rose into the sky and vanished inside. The ground shook again, but this time it wasn't just machines coming. It was something worse, something ancient. And it wasn't here to fight a war. It was here to end everything. Rig looked at his team, tired, hurt, scared, but still standing. "We face death," he said. "Again," Kale added. But not alone, said Voss, and not quietly. They lifted their weapons. Whatever was coming next, they would meet it head on. The black ship floated above them like a mountain in the sky. No sound, no movement, just cold fear. The echo core had disappeared inside it. The veterans stood frozen, staring up. Even the swarm had stopped. Machines no longer attacked. Stren and the other turned soldiers watched in silence. Then, the air changed, not colder, not warmer, heavier. It felt like something massive had opened its eyes for the first time in a million years. Captain Rig gripped his weapon tighter. "What is that ship?" he asked. Commander Voss's face was pale. "It's not a ship," he said. "It's a prison. Or it was." The sniper whispered. "Prison for what?" Voss looked at them. "For something we were never supposed to find." The ground shook again. Not from machines, from inside the planet. Deep cracks opened in the valley. Blue fire glowed from below. Strange symbols lit up across the black tower. Then a voice spoke. Not in their heads, not through speakers, but through the air itself. "We slept so long." The words made the veterans step back. It was not just a sound. It was like a hand pressing down on their hearts. "We dreamed of silence." Everyone fell to their knees. "Now you wake us." The sky turned black. The stars vanished, and from the black ship, a shape began to fall. It was not machine, not human, not alive, not dead. A creature made of shadows and light, tall as a tower, with wings that looked like torn space. Its eyes burned like two suns, even. The swarm moved back. Even Stren looked afraid. Sergeant Kale said one word. "What is that?" Voss replied. "It's what built the echo core." The creature landed without sound. Its feet didn't touch the ground. It floated, surrounded by darkness. And then it looked at them. Not like a human would, more like a god deciding whether to destroy ants. "Why do you fight?" it asked. No one answered. So it asked again. "Why do you still fight?" Rig stood up, shaking but strong. "Because someone has to." The creature tilted its head. "You are not worth saving." It raised its hand. The swarm moved as one, charging again. The battle restarted, but this time, it was chaos. The creature didn't attack with weapons. It bent reality. Walls melted, time slowed. Some veterans screamed, seeing things from their past. Old battles, old deaths, guilt and pain. Kale saw his brother dying again. The same way he had failed him long ago. The sniper saw the face of a child she couldn't save. The medic dropped to his knees, whispering names of soldiers he had lost. But one man stood tall. Commander Voss. He walked straight toward the creature. "You don't belong here," he said. The creature looked at him. "We built you for war, then left you. We did not expect you to survive." Voss raised his weapon. "You left a piece of yourself behind," he said. "We call it the echo core. But it's your mistake." The creature said nothing. Then Voss shouted, "Now your mistake belongs to us." Suddenly, the black ship cracked. Open. The echo core flew out, burning hot, glowing like a star. It slammed into the ground between the creature and the veterans, and it spoke. New protocol chosen. Balance rejected. Protection engaged. The core created a shield, a dome of light around the veterans. Time returned to normal. The pain faded. The vision stopped. The team could breathe again. "What's it doing?" Kale asked. Rig looked at the core. "It's choosing a side." "For us?" the sniper asked. The core glowed. "You are not perfect, but you chose to fight. That makes you worthy." The creature let out a sound like thunder, not anger, laughter. Then, "We begin again." And with that, it vanished, back into the ship. The black vessel slowly rose into the sky, then blinked out of existence. The swarm, leaderless now, stood frozen. Some fell. Others fled. Stren stayed behind. I don't know what I am anymore, he whispered. Rig looked at him. You're still one of us, if you choose to be. The team stood in silence. The war had not ended, but something far worse had been awakened. And for now, it had left. Only one thing was clear. This was no longer just a fight against machines. This was a war for what it means to be human. The valley was quiet again. Burnt machines lay broken on the ground. The sky returned to normal, blue and calm. But the veterans knew the silence wouldn't last. Captain Rig looked at the black marks on the earth where the strange creature had landed. This was only the beginning, he said. Sergeant Kale nodded. We need help, real help. Commander Voss agreed. Then it's time to call the others. The veterans returned to their ship. Inside, the Echo Core floated in the control room. It still glowed. Calm now, not angry. We saved it, said the medic. No, Rig replied. It saved us. Kale tapped the map screen. Where do we go? Voss zoomed out the galaxy chart. To the old worlds, he said. The ones who stopped listening. These were not normal planets. They were forgotten planets. Places that had once fought in great wars, then turned silent. Some gave up. Some were hiding. Others had their own reasons. Some of them won't trust us, Rig warned. They will if they remember who we are, Kale said. The first stop. Zenthra 9. Once, a proud warrior world. Now it was quiet and cold. Gray cities filled with empty streets, but underground the old soldiers still trained. They called themselves the Iron Wall. Rig met their leader, a tall woman named General Aura. You want our help? She said. We want your strength, Rig replied. The swarm is back, but this time they're not the worst thing out there. Aura looked at the sky. I've seen the signs, she said. The stars shake, the dreams return. We will join you. Next stop, Thalrune, the jungle world. Here, soldiers had become shadows, hunters, watchers. They called themselves the Silent Teeth. Voss stepped forward this time. You remember me? He asked. The leader, a masked man, nodded. You were one of us once. I still am, Voss said. And now I ask you to fight again. The jungle warriors said nothing, but they began packing weapons. That was their answer. Planet by planet, the veterans traveled. They gathered old friends, old rivals, old legends. Each one joined for the same reason. They knew something ancient was moving again. The final stop was the hardest. Gravemorn, a world covered in ash. The air was heavy with death. This planet had lost everything in the last war. No leaders, no armies, only ghosts. Yet deep below the surface, the veterans found them, the broken blades, soldiers who never stopped fighting. We lost our home, their commander said. So did we, Kale replied. We lost our people, she said. So did we, Rig said. The commander looked at the Echo Core. What is that? She asked. Rig paused. A weapon, a guide, a mistake. And still, you carry it? Yes, Rig said, because it chose us. And so, the council was formed. In a hollow moon, far from any star, the warriors gathered. 10 worlds. 10 armies. All forgotten, all survivors. The War Council of the Forgotten Planets. The meeting began. This war is not like the others, Voss said. We fight the swarm, yes, but something else is behind them. He showed a recording of the black creature. Gasps filled the room. What is that thing? Someone asked. Not of this galaxy, Rig said. It calls itself We, and it wants to judge us. Judge us for what? A desert general asked. For surviving, Kale replied. For not dying when we were supposed to. The Iron Wall wanted to strike first. Find the black ship. Destroy it. The Silent Teeth wanted to learn more. We must understand it before we attack. The Broken Blades had another idea. Let it come to us. Then trap it. But Rig stood. We don't have time for arguments, he said. We must be ready, no matter what it sends next. The Echo Core suddenly spoke. Second contact approaches. Everyone. Turned. Threat level, Omega. Species. Type, unknown. Arrival. Time, 5 days. Silence, then chaos. Voss raised his voice. Listen, we have 5 days. Prepare your fleets. Train your soldiers. Ready your minds. We may not survive this war, Rig said. But if we fight together, Kale added, we give humanity a chance. A quiet murmur filled the chamber. One by one, the leaders stood. We stand with you. The War Council was formed. The countdown had begun. And far away, in the dark between stars, something began to move. Faster than light. Hungrier than war. It was coming. The countdown was over. 5 days had passed. The sky was no longer safe. Across the galaxy, from broken worlds to hidden moons, all eyes looked toward the stars. Something was coming, and it had finally arrived. Captain Rig stood on the bridge of the warship Valor's Echo. Around him, screens showed the entire fleet, ships from the Iron Wall, the Silent Teeth, the Broken Blades, and more, all ready, all armed, all waiting. Sergeant Kale looked out the window. Where is it? Voss stared at the radar. We'll know in seconds. The Echo Core floated in the center of the ship, glowing fast, like a heart beating in fear. Then the warning came. Enemy contact. Dimensional fold detected. The stars bent, space twisted, and then the darkness opened. It wasn't one ship. It was a fleet, a swarm of black vessels that didn't fly like normal ships. They swam, like creatures, like shadows given metal and hate. In front of them, leading the attack, was the black ship they had seen before. And behind it, something even worse, a shape so big it had no clear form, made of light and smoke and whispers, the voices of 1,000 lost souls. The creature spoke through the stars. You were warned. All ships, engage, Rig shouted. The battle began. Lasers, missiles, EMP blasts. Veteran warships flew in perfect formations. Fighters danced through fire. Drones weaved between enemy ships. The sky lit up like a storm of suns. The swarm fought hard, but the new armies were stronger now, smarter, veterans. Didn't panic. They adapted. The Iron Wall led the front lines. Their heavy cruisers crushed enemy ships with focused cannon fire. The Silent Teeth attacked from the shadows, jumping in and out of cloak, leaving confusion behind. The Broken Blades charged into the heart of the enemy fleet. Wild, brave, fearless. Each army had one goal: keep the black ship from reaching the Echo Core. But the creature didn't need ships, it used fear. Rig heard voices in his head again, memories that weren't his. Pain from battles he had never fought, whispers from dead soldiers. You will fail. You always fail, Voss gritted his teeth. Ignore it. Keep fighting. Then, the creature changed shape. It grew arms of pure energy and slammed them into nearby ships. 5 vessels were destroyed in seconds. Target the core of the black. Ship, Rig ordered. The sniper, now in orbit, took aim with a planetary cannon. Firing, she said. The cannon shot a beam of white fire. It hit the black ship dead center. The explosion was massive, but when the smoke cleared, the ship was still there. And now, it was angry. It sent a wave of dark energy toward the fleet. Ships powered down. Lights flickered. Some stopped moving. Then, from inside the enemy ship, came Stren. Still part machine. Still part man. But now, more machine than ever. He landed on the hull of Valor's Echo and cut his way in. The alarm screamed. Breach on deck 7! Kale shouted. Rig grabbed his rifle. He's mine! Inside the ship, smoke filled the halls. Stren stood at the center. wires growing from his back like tentacles. "You should have stayed dead," he said. Rig raised his gun. "So should you." They fought. Gunfire, blades, fists, 2 veterans, 2 friends, now enemies. Stren hit hard, stronger than before, but Rig was faster, smarter, human. He dropped a grenade at Stren's feet. Boom! The hallway shook. When the smoke cleared, Stren was on the ground, broken, but still alive. "I wanted to believe in something again," he said weakly. "You still can," Rig replied. "Help us end this." Outside, the battle reached its peak. The echo core began to pulse. Faster, brighter. "Final defense mode activated," it said. A blast of energy spread out from the core, pushing the enemy back. The black ship began to crack. The creature screamed, not in pain, but in surprise. "You were never meant to resist." Rig returned to the bridge. Kale looked at him. "We're pushing them back." "For now," Rig said. "But this isn't over." The core spoke again. Main entity retreating. Damage level high, enemy forces dispersing. The black ship turned. The rest followed, vanishing into folded space. The battle was won, but the cost was high. Dozens of ships lost, thousands of fighters dead. The sky was quiet again, but not peaceful. Rig looked out into space. "They'll be back," he said. Voss nodded. "And next time they won't come alone." The echo core floated silently. Then it said, "One enemy defeated. One remains. The original maker." Everyone went still. Kale whispered, "There's another?" Rig clenched his fists. "Then we finish this." The stars were silent again. But it wasn't peace. It was the breath before a storm. Inside the warship, Valor's Echo, the veteran, stood around the glowing core. It had saved them. It had warned them. Now it had given them one last message. One enemy remains, the original maker. Captain Rig looked at the screen. The Echo Core showed a map, far outside known space, beyond the edge of the galaxy, a place called the Origin Point. Sergeant Kale asked, "Is that where this all started?" Commander Voss nodded. "Yes, and it's where we must end it." All across the galaxy, the War Council listened. The Iron Wall, Silent Teeth, Broken Blades, and all the others had one choice: go home. Or finish the fight. The answer was clear. They came. Not for glory, not for revenge, but because no one else would. The fleet jumped to the origin point. What they found was not a planet, not a ship, but a graveyard. A place filled with broken machines. Dead stars and black stones floating in space, and in the center, something huge, a sphere the size of a moon, glowing with dark light. The core whispered, "The Maker sleeps inside." Suddenly the voice returned, the one that had haunted them before. But now it was stronger. "You should have died long ago." The sphere opened, and it came out. Not a creature, not a machine, something in between. It had many faces, all shifting, all watching. It had wings made of code and claws made of memory. It was the war, every weapon, every mistake, the original maker. "You were built for war," it said. "And we survived," Rig replied. The maker laughed. "Survival is not victory." The final battle began. The veterans charged. Ships fired all at once. The Iron Wall rammed the enemy head-on. The Silent Teeth used stealth to strike from the dark. The Broken Blades dove into fire with no fear, but the Maker fought back. It controlled time. It bent light. It made some soldiers see friends as enemies. Rig's ship shook. "Shields at 30%. Kale shouted. "Keep firing," he yelled. On another ship, Voss gave orders. "Redirect power. Keep the fleet moving." But then, the Maker targeted the core. A dark beam shot forward. The Valor's Echo took the hit. The ship cracked in half. Rig and Kale were thrown to the floor. "Is the core still online?" Rig coughed. The medic answered, "Yes, but just barely." In that moment, Stren stepped forward. Still part machine, still broken, but his eyes were clear. "I can carry it," he said. Rig looked at him. Are you sure? Stren nodded. I was part of their mistake. Let me fix it. He took the core, flew straight into the Maker. The Maker laughed again. You think one can defeat me? Stren answered with a whisper. No. But I'm not alone. He triggered the core. It exploded, not in fire, but in light. A wave of memories. Of soldiers who refused to die. Of battles fought for the right reasons. Of those who answered the call. The light wrapped around the Maker. And for the first time, it screamed. The sphere collapsed. The stars grew brighter. And the silence returned. This time, it felt like peace. Later, what was left of the fleet returned home. Not all made it back. But the story of the veterans spread. Worlds who once stayed. Silent began to speak. Enemies laid down arms. The War Council was not just for war anymore. It became a symbol, a promise, that no matter how dark the future became, someone would always answer the call. Captain Rig stood under a new sky. Children played nearby, unaware of the wars that nearly ended everything. Kale walked up beside him. Do you think it's over? She asked. Rig smiled. No, but for once. We get to choose what happens next. They watched the sunset. Together, veterans of every war. But finally, at peace. The end.